Welcome back to the 39th episode of the Sketchbook Heroes with me, Ilias.
And me, Robert.
On this episode, we're going to be talking about how to sort of conduct some type of successful freelance.
Very nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Exactly. And
Stay
also,
tuned.
for all of you, before we run our awesome intro, we have some awesome news. Next week, we will have a special guest.
Especial.
And a giveaway. But we're going to announce it later in the podcast. So.
Yes, so stay tuned.
So stay tuned for whenever that pops up. So, up, and skadoosh!
Let's do this!
Artists of the world unite. Step out of your comfort zone into the danger zone.
We are. And nice. We're back.
Hey, hello.
So, hi guys. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Uncensored Heroes.
That we are.
Yes. So, dude, Robert, how have you been, man?
I've been good. Busy as always. Always.
Sweet.
Like, it just feels like I'm saying the exact same thing every time.
Like, oh, I'm so tired.
So tired. So busy. Oh,
so tired. Busy, tired.
Yeah.
But that's fine. How's Inktober going?
Inktober's going pretty okay, I would say. I was stuck with the birds there in the beginning and then really tried to go my own way.
But then you left the nest, right?
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. I flew away, spread my wings. Horrible.
We do a lot of spreading on this podcast, apparently.
Yeah, we do. And stretching.
And
flexing, yes. But anyway, so I started trying to go more into the line art type stuff that I really miss doing. And it ties pretty well into the whole tattoo business and all that stuff.
Awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, been trying that, and today's was fucking horrible. I showed you. Yeah. Thankfully, I only showed you a picture of it, not the real thing.
At least we've shared our failures.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we're not gonna be done too late, so I can go home and redraw something for today.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Same here. Like today's post, which is for you guys, this was posted like. A lady in red. Just look for a lady in red in my gallery. I would not have posted
in red
exactly. If Robert
today.
3 days ago. But the post that is like a red lady, I would not have posted it unless Robert had said like, oh no, post it, like photo it in a good angle.
Yeah, leave your ego out of it. Leave your ego out of it. Post it. No, I said it because I liked it. I think it looks good.
Okay, I thought it was garbage.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Me and Melanie liked it.
So. That's actually true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melanie. Very nice.
Again, thank you, Melanie.
But yeah, I've fallen behind though. I've done a terrible job with my Inktober's. I'm on day 5. I have day 6 as well. But it's so... But I'll post it, I guess. Since I posted the red lady in red. Can't be worse.
And I don't think it's that...
No, it's just boring. It's just like...
Yeah, but fuck, dude.
Emmy, this is your fault.
Yeah, stop raising the fucking bar all the time.
Stop doing good shit. Don't you have a job, hobo?
Yeah. No, she doesn't.
Oh. God damn it. You have too much time.
Yeah. So, not okay.
Yeah.
But it looks amazing. Great job, Emmy.
Amazing. So, yeah, I have nothing else to say. That I've had some personal reasons for falling behind. I don't want to get into that because of reasons.
But we don't want to hear those fucking
exactly
reasons.
Boring. No, there's nothing. It has nothing to do with what do you call them? Washing machines. But I do have my refrigerator actually broke.
No way.
Yeah, I think it has to do with my son opening the doors and hanging on them. But we've never really noticed or heard anything crack. But then yesterday, my wife opened the doors, like the refrigerator and the freezer door. They're sort of connected.
Mm-hmm.
And she opened them yesterday, and they both sort of loosened from their thing and just like fell down.
What?
So tomorrow we're getting the people to fix them. So we'll see how that goes, right?
Nice.
Yeah. So
yes, I'm very
full circle.
excited.
So this is the last episode of
Holy
the
shit.
Sketchbook Heroes, going full circle. From washing machines
Awesome.
to freezers, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes. They're coming by tomorrow. They were supposed to come today.
Of
They
course.
couldn't.
Of course not. See,
So
it's
tomorrow-
already begun, man.
Dude, but we can leave the key at the door and they just go in and fix it. So it's fine
Yeah.
in that sense because it's not we didn't buy the freezer or the fridge. It's like
It's
in
a rental.
Yeah. So they just come and fix it.
Yeah.
And so they have a key for the apartment.
Yeah, but that was the same with mine. But
Oh.
it was just my landlord and stuff. They can never help me with that. So it was the external people coming in. So
okay,
I needed
yeah.
to let them. Yeah,
That sucks dicks.
it
yeah.
does.
So
But yeah. Should we do some like Inktober shout outs? Thank you people for doing stuff.
definitely. Except like we have a lot of people to thank.
Yeah, we
I don't
do.
know what happened to you guys, but you just like you've been leaving like you've rated the podcast.
You're trolling us
You're yeah.
in a
you've-
good way.
like a lot of you have rated the podcast. Thank you. Please keep rating the podcast. Everyone who hasn't, pause this episode and just rate the podcast. We have Gustav Lord that rated the podcast, and what was the comment?
The comment from Gustav was, and I quote, I use this show as a relaxed, within bunny ears, overtired motivation speech when I draw. The theme tune is amazing, and so is the advices given by the hosts.
Sweet.
Thank you, Gustav. Awesome.
Thank you, buddy. And then we have Jovshup.
Jobshop says, this is brilliant. So funny and genuine with no censor at all.
I died because we saw that just before the podcast.
So good. Well recommended for any and all illustrators, artists, geeks, or anyone working on their own a lot. So thank you, Jobshop.
Guys, this is what we want from you. Like, leave us a funny fucking comment. And some people have not left any usernames. So please do that. Like, write something stupid. And it's awesome. And the biggest shout out goes to Marianne. Her Instagram handle is I can't Instagram 0. And she gave, like, on my birthday, on the 4th of October, she made the best Inktober drawing in forever. Like, this is the best shit ever since Matt made the animation of the Sketchbook Heroes, okay?
Yeah.
It's that
really,
epic.
It's so good.
It's so epic.
It made...
Dude, describe it.
well, what can I say? I mean, it's a T-Rex that I am steering. Then this is me, Robert.
I think we've mentioned something about T-Rexes in the
Yeah,
past.
that's the comment. And then Ilias is behind me with a hoodie and his headphones on, with a little floating crown over his head with an arrow and then a text saying "birthday boy," and he's working on his iPad.
Oh, so
And we're
good.
riding a fucking T-Rex.
It's so good. And we're going to post this on the page just before we release this episode
Yeah.
on Thursday. So we might have it like on Wednesday or something.
And it's so funny.
man.
And the comment was Inktober day 4. You said T-Rex, right? When we said tranny sex, I think.
Tyrannis. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was.
Of course we did.
It's amazing. But yes, I can't Instagram or 0. I can't Instagram 0.
Yeah.
Thank you so fucking much, Marianne. Amazing work.
Fucking brilliant.
And
we
also,
laughed.
just an extra little shout out to what was it? F-Tail 90.
Yeah, F-Tail 90,
Yeah.
also known as
Tanya.
Tanya.
Thank you so much for reaching out to us and just giving us a little extra power boost.
Yeah, on Instagram, like a private message to us. It was awesome.
Actually, on the Facebook.
That's what I said.
No, you said Instagram.
I meant Facebook, sorry.
There you go. But yeah, no. So she wrote us a message just saying how much she appreciated the stuff that we do, plus also bragging about what she's working with, which is fucking amazing. It blew my brain
Dude,
out
same
of the
here.
fucking.
So remember,
Everywhere.
if you love the new Blade Runner movie that I haven't had time to see yet,
I haven't had time to see it either.
but if you love it, then you should know that Sketchbook Heroes is very lightly involved.
yeah,
As inspiration.
we helped make that shit,
Yeah, of course we did.
and also
Right?
future awesome movies.
Yeah. That we
Oh
should
my God.
mention. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh
that's
my
the one
God.
that blew my brain.
Yeah, dude. Same here. Same fucking. So good.
I don't know if we can mention
Thank
it.
you,
so-
Tanya. We shouldn't.
We shouldn't.
ftail90
Yeah.
on Instagram. She also does Inktober, so check her stuff out.
Yes,
She's awesome. She does VFX for
movies.
Blade Runner, for
Blade
example.
Runner, yeah.
So check out for Tanya. I don't remember the last name though, but
Something with a K.
something with a K. Yeah. Like so happy.
Yeah,
So happy that you've been listening, that you reached out, like all that.
for
means-
everybody. Like, and even you guys that aren't writing, we're really
No, we're
happy you
super
guys are
happy.
listening. Obviously, but just so you know, I mean, if you do write us and share our stuff, and we notice, then we will shout you out because
Yeah,
it
that's
really
why
means the world to us.
Exactly.
And I mean, like we always say, you guys are the fucking heroes out there.
Yeah, you are the
So-
Sketchbook Heroes. We're just,
We're
babbling.
just talking. That's what we do. But yeah, we're so extremely grateful, and it's just so inspiring to us seeing all of this stuff, and
Yeah, it's super
and knowing that we helped inspire a lot of you guys to start the Inktober
Inktober.
challenge
Yeah.
is so fucking amazingly awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, guys.
no more shout outs. We can't
No more
do this.
shoutouts.
We'll
Yeah.
do it all
no,
day.
No, but yeah, but
Thank
if you do just like leave, a handle or a username somewhere,
Yeah.
so that we can see it if you leave a review because it's fun.
Exactly.
And if you write like awesome shit like those ones today,
Yeah, Gustav and Jobshop.
and Yovshop, yeah, those are fun. Just keep sharing. Leave a name, preferably a username, so people can find you if you want to be found.
Yes.
So, before we move on, I want to actually, regarding Inktober, I've gotten like almost 200 new followers during the first week of Inktober.
It's fucking crazy.
And I posted 4 images.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 images, because I haven't posted the 5th.
But is this only on Twitter?
This is only on Twitter. Like, I don't know what, like, Instagram is fine. I've gotten
a lot of new followers.
I've gotten like
on
60 or 80
yeah,
new followers.
I think I'm somewhere around maybe 20 or so, which is, I guess.
But
the
I guess it depends
equivalent.
on how sort of like I go around and comment and I check out stuff. And I did the same on Twitter. And the response on Twitter is insane. Like when you use the hashtag and when you like appreciate artists. And I'm not talking about the artists that already have like 1 million followers. I'm talking about the ones that sort of get neglected. They get like 1, 2 likes.
Yeah.
Just go and leave a comment or something. And then they might follow you back if you are engaged, and maybe someone that follows them sees that comment as well. Like for me, it's worked really well.
Gets the ball rolling.
Yeah, exactly. So keep like appreciating people that like are struggling. I recommend like the podcast, for example, as like, oh, dude, check out our podcast. Like I might give you some helpful tips.
Yeah.
And
Super
blah, blah,
smart.
blah. So yeah.
I
It's worked really
actually
well.
haven't checked the Twitter hashtag. I've only been in on
I've
Instagram.
I've done it. And I usually retweet anyone on Twitter that writes something about us. I try to retweet that.
Yeah, I try to like those.
But it's like credentials,
Yeah. Yeah.
just like people like giving. It's like if you can't vote on us if you have an Android, a retweet is awesome as well. Like we really appreciate those with a recommendation from you guys
Absolutely.
instead of us saying it's awesome, because it is. So, with that said, though.
Up and skadoosh.
Yes, let's move on to today's topic, because
Let's do
that
this.
shit is long.
Yes, it's gonna take forever.
Yep. So,
Without further ado, let's do this.
da-do. We're back.
So
This episode is going to cover what the fuck? Yeah, so this episode is going to cover how to sort of like conduct successful freelance. And the reason we're talking about this is because we had a cancellation today.
Yeah.
So we had to come up with something that
On the fly.
On the fly. And we thought back, like, what have we talked about? How can we tie in some of these important episodes, like, together into, like, one summarized episode with like trying to sort of like, I don't know, give you some tips. Fuck it. Let's not dwell on why we're doing this.
Exactly. Just listen.
Just listen. So how do you sort of create like good freelance? First of all, I think you need to ask yourself like, what am I fucking offering?
Yeah.
Like, why would anyone hire me? What is it that I do that is awesome, and why should they hire me? Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, I guess you have to sort of look into your art. Like, am I good enough?
It is really important.
It is really important.
And for a lot of people, I think it's really difficult because I think most of us just go like, no, I suck.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. Like, everybody's so much better than me. Try to, let go of that thought straight away and just really look at your stuff from a different, like really objectively. Or maybe ask some friends, if you have honest friends, ask them, what do they think? Or if you want to be really fucking ballsy, you can, you can send us stuff, Sketchbook Heroes.
You can.
Or any like artist that you really appreciate or get inspired by. Reach out, ask them, like, what do you think? I'm thinking about this and this. La la.
Or if you follow people on social media that are sort of on the, like, your level, like, there are artists that I sort of like, oh, this person is sort of like where I am. And they're better at this, and I'm better at this, and but I feel that we have something in common. We might have the same sort of following. We might have, sort of like we draw sort of the same stuff, or whatever. It feels like they're not way better than me. Like, it's not impossible for me to reach their level, and it's not impossible for them to do my shit. Like, I feel there's like some sort of common
ground.
Yeah, common ground there. Yeah. So maybe reach out if they're doing freelance, like, oh, hey, blah, 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 blah. Could you give me some feedback? Just like, like do an exchange there of, because I use Robert, but I use you as like, oh, dude, blah, blah, blah. This Inktober thing was garbage, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, fuck it, dude. Everyone else is going to like it. It's probably your best piece.
Exactly.
Like, if you hate it, it's probably your best piece. Like, every time you post something you hate, everyone loves it.
It is fucking true, though. Like,
every time. Every time. I don't know what it is with you guys, but like every time I have like, oh, this is garbage.
Remember the first comment? Straight away when you posted it?
Yeah. Like, this is my... Yeah, that was Melanie. Well, one of them was Melanie. It was like, oh, this is my favorite piece of your recent stuff. I'm like, ugh. I did the apple. The apple was cool. I enjoyed doing that one. But yeah. So, what is it that you do? What is the service at offer here? Like, what are you offering?
What's your product?
Yeah, what is your product? Like, try to define it. Like, oh, I do this, but I also do this and that and that. Yeah. And it can be concept, or maybe I do characters, but I can also do backgrounds, but I'm really good at characters.
Or it could be makeup design or fucking hair.
Whatever. Like, it could be graphic design, it could be pubic design. Like, it doesn't matter.
The sky is the limit.
Exactly.
If you got something, sell it.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't just have to be art. Maybe you're like a troubadour and I don't know,
something,
just making shit up now, but just try to specify what it is that you can offer companies, and then roll with it. Like, write it down, because it's easier to write it down than just saying it once and then forgetting it, because that's how my life works. I think of good at stuff, and if I don't write them down, I will never remember them.
No, but that is my life. Parents' birthdays, your birthdays, everyone's birthday, dude. Days of the week.
I'm just so
lost.
Yeah, same here. Like, I miss, for every birthday person that I remember, or like Facebook reminds me, I miss another 5 or 10,
20.
Like, yeah. I was trying to be nice.
Yeah. But happy birthday, dude.
Thanks. So yes, everyone, by the way, I didn't reply to you all because thank you for all the birthday wishes. So, moving on. So, how to get jobs and how do you promote yourself? Because this was something that the live streams that we do before the podcast, the like 10-minute, 15-minute live streams, some questions came in. So we're going to answer them as we sort of get to that topic.
Yeah.
And the first one was like, how do you promote yourself?
Yes.
Like, outside of social media. Well, so let's touch upon social media, because I think even outside of social media plays a part.
It's always relevant now. Like, it has become and the key thing almost.
I think so. I think it's a very good way to sort of like leave a presence and then meet them in real person.
Yeah. I mean, even if you do promote your stuff without the social media, like, say for instance a flyer, like you just said before.
Yeah. Put up flyers.
Yeah,
or
but then
something,
you're probably gonna take a picture of the flyer up somewhere and post that on social media.
I think it's good to do all of it.
Yeah, it's just fucking. It's everywhere.
I think it's really good though, because you sort of make it like a full circle. Like you spread it in all ways that you have in your sort of like arsenal.
Yeah.
So
like
I was,
pastei.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly like that. So use social media, like we've talked about it recently. Creating, what was it we call it? Like creating artsy opportunities or something like that.
You mean the episode?
Yeah, the episode. What was that called?
It's
on this paper, right? Let's see what it was called. It was called. You didn't write it down. You didn't write that one.
but that wasn't an episode.
What?
I don't think
It
that
is
was
an episode.
Is it?
Creating artsy opportunities. Yeah, don't know the number, but in that episode we talk about sort of going to events, going to like, and not just going to art events. Like Comic-Con that has the artist alley. We're talking about going to book conventions, going sci-fi conventions, and
Episode 32.
creating artsy opportunities.
There
yeah.
we go.
32?
Yeah.
Yeah. So creating artsy opportunities is episode 32, where we touch upon some of this, but we'll just recap quickly.
Yeah.
It's to go to all these events, but before you do, find out who's going to be at the show. It's usually on the whoever
Like
hosts
the information page.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see all the companies, so just make sure, like, read them. Like, I want to come in contact with,
this and this and
this
this
and
person.
this and this.
Yeah.
Reach out on social media. Hopefully you do this ahead of time. Like good. If they have a bigger following, it might take them some while to find your shit.
Yeah.
If even. So reach out and maybe post a reminder if they don't have time to reply. Like, hi guys, I know it's been a couple of days or like a week.
Yeah.
Just wanted to check if I could have like a couple of minutes of your blah 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 on this convention.
Good. Any type of
anything.
heads up. I
Exactly,
think is
and then
really good, really great.
It is really great because then when they meet you at the convention, hi, I sent you a message, you replied. It was awesome that you took time to meet me. And maybe if you're at the convention, like we've said before, and they're selling something, maybe you can do them a service by buying the book.
Yeah.
And then they can do you the favor of looking at your stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's a trade,
It's a give and take.
Yeah, because if someone would buy my prints, like, can I have one of each of your prints? And then buys my book or, whatever the fuck I would be so fucking happy that someone would do that I would gladly, like,
Of
even
course.
more than usual, want to help. Because,
Yes.
like, this person is
Way and
supporting
beyond.
me. Yeah. So this person took some money out of their, like, hard-earned money to buy some of my stuff. I can give them some of my time. Like, I feel that is worth it.
That's what I feel like every day.
So remember that exchange that we always sort of nag about? And that's what this podcast is. It's that nag for when you start forgetting shit. We're gonna be there nagging.
repeating. Yeah, like a smack at the back of the head.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, son, do better.
All my life.
So yeah,
Thanks, Dad.
try to. So events is always going to be the best place.
Yeah,
Because at events,
it's like a good hashtag.
it is fucking like a good hashtag. It's like a what do you call it? Like a live hashtag.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody who loves what it is that you love and
Yeah.
hashtag, it's gonna be there.
And the best thing about this is, like, if you go to these off conventions that aren't really sort of in the field that you like, maybe they're not no one's promoting art here. Like a book convention.
Yeah.
That might be the best place for you. Because you might be one of 5 artists or like one of 10, even one of 20.
They actually do promote artists at book fairs too.
But they only promote the big ones. So if you come out there because in the Swedish ones, it's garbage.
Yeah. I went to Frankfurt Book Fair, which is huge.
Yeah.
Fucking huge. I went there as a representative of Lego back in the day, and their artist alley was great.
Yeah, that's because they have an artist alley. I want you to go to the conventions that don't have an artist alley, because Comic-Con, you're going to be buried. Like, it's not impossible.
No.
It depends on the level and if you have a following. But if you don't have a following, for example, conventions and events might be the biggest sort of like income for you.
Oh yeah.
I think because you are there presenting yourself. I'd rather hire someone I've met a couple of times,
Definitely.
maybe talked on social media and then met them, than hire someone that is maybe slightly better, but I don't know shit about them. Like,
Because there's no connection.
there's no connection at all. So I'd pick the one that I can trust.
Yeah.
So that is a great way of doing it. And for all of you, this is something that we're going to keep repeating, is that try to do this on a local market.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to go to the big conventions, like, the biggest, book convention in the US.
No.
Because there you might be, like, sort of crowded and you might get lost in all the other shit that's going on. But go to the local shit. Like, there's, like, these super off conventions and events about stuff.
And it's good practice for the bigger one.
And it is awesome practice, because you might meet some famous people at the smaller ones, because sometimes you have this like artist that's there or something
and you never knew.
and that you never knew, and then you just like meet them at a bigger convention. They're like, hey dude, you're here. Yeah, because that's what I noticed. If you go to a lot of these, they start recognizing you, man.
Yeah. It's like Deadpool, everybody knew Deadpool.
And if you have a generic face like mine, you'll even have like you'll even have like Sam Nielsen and who was it, Chris Perns, the comic, the storyboard artist. That like, oh dude, have we met before? I was like, nope, we have not. But
now we have.
But now we have, yeah. So be generic.
Wink, wink.
And then something that Robert said just before we recorded, while I was writing these down, like some of these ideas that I had, he's like, be resourceful, which is fucking on the money.
You know it.
Because, like I said about flyers, like put up flyers in your local fucking food shop or the bookshop or the art supply store. Because if it's a small place,
nobody would think about doing that.
It's not a thing that anyone does. And then just fucking like, oh, if you see this, I'm looking for an artist. That's me. La la la. Social media.
Perfect.
That shit. And hashtag your local place. Like any local hashtags that are sort of famous. Fucking hashtag that shit.
Yeah. Also, I've noticed that people actually look at the areas. What do you call them? Locations. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's also great. Like, so if you are at, say, a pen store, for example, then post that you are at pen store. Like,
I do that.
Yeah,
I like, sure,
smart.
you're doing free promotions for companies.
Yeah,
but it's
also
a great
free
way of
for
sort
you.
of for you as well. Like,
because a lot of people go in and check that shit.
And I will always recommend, like, I don't care if it is a business. If it comes from me personally, I'm like, oh my God, Pen Store has such a great whatever,
Yeah.
I will recommend it. Like, even though Pen Store isn't like, because it's a place of value for me. When I'm there, they're always nice. They're asking me stuff.
Good service.
I'm like, do you have any pens to sort of like any new stuff?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Like, I don't need it. I go there. I'm like, hey, I don't need anything. I'm just here to sort of like,
here's my money.
Here's
Give me
my
something.
money. Give me some stuff. Yeah. And they just like, oh, well, this new thing and that new thing and this sort of like wax thing that they showed me that you could sort of like smudge color pencil. They just showed me a lot of stuff that I normally wouldn't look at because I'm not going there and just keeping my bias. Like it's just like, oh, this stuff, this like Copics and then usual. You just show me shit because they don't know.
No.
And they just recommend stuff that they think is cool.
Yeah.
And that you can be creative with. Yeah. So use all those local venues before you start expanding. Same thing with the hashtags. If you have like a local Illustrator hashtag, like if you're from Spain or if you're German, if you have like Illustrator, then use that one, instead of using Illustrator.
Yeah.
Because if you write Illustrator, that's like 40 million hashtag.
Probably more.
Yeah. So if you have local hashtags, if you post, if you use them in your work as well, like use big ones, but use some small ones as well.
Yeah. You're going to notice.
You're going to be at the top. You're going to be in the top list. You might not get a lot of followers, but you will be at the top. So anyone who searches that, at least at a local or in your country, will at least find your stuff there.
Yeah.
If not in, 43 million, so that's not happening.
No.
You need lots and lots of Justin Bieber likes there.
But that's a great comment.
Yeah.
Yes. Good advice.
So be resourceful. Do all these weird things that no one else would fucking think about.
Exactly.
And try to keep it local in the beginning. Not do all, but mainly local. I think you'll have a better chance because there might not be that many artists in your area, in that small town or wherever.
So it's going to be easier for you to be seen.
Way easier, yeah.
Or found.
Or just get opportunities that maybe wouldn't be offered to you yet.
But don't go streaking and have your business card
on your penis
face
don't
painted.
Do that. Yeah.
No.
And then you have, looking for jobs, you'll have all those normal places like ArtStation, DeviantArt,
Yeah.
most of the stuff on DeviantArt is garbage, but sometimes, you might find something.
Yeah.
I try not to work for people. I try to keep it, sort of like businesses.
Companies.
Yeah, because companies, I know, make money. Not all of them. Some make money, but they're assholes.
Yeah.
But still, like, I try to go into it with them not being assholes, and then I have my contract to sort of defend me or like keep me safe from shenanigans.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I pretty much haven't met any normal person that can afford my prices. So,
same here. Like, it's not worth it.
but
And
I do have a commission I'm working on right now, and I mean, there's still people writing me, so maybe they're getting used to the
people have stopped.
Yeah.
Totally stopped. Like,
I thought they had, but they've started again for some reason.
Yeah, I have
don't know
nothing. I have nothing. Some people ask me if I sell some of my sketchbook stuff, which I don't most of the time. But I've started sort of cutting in my sketchbooks now because I've been too pedantic about it.
Yeah, just
So fuck it. Yeah.
And I just got reminded of something. It's total derail, but it's going back to the Inktober thing and the birds. But for anybody who's been with us for a longer time, you might remember the name of my tattoo artist, who is Nelson, doing my comic book sleeve. Now he wants one of the birds that I drew for Inktober.
He wants a bird?
He wants...
I'll give him a bird.
I don't know what the name of the bird is in English. Skata in Greek.
It was actually... Oh, shit. I don't remember now. It was a pretty simple word that you've heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see.
Skata in Swedish, the black and white bird that I've drawn.
Magpie.
What? Really?
Yeah, magpie is
Holy shit.
skata.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I've heard that word so many times.
So many times, right? Yeah.
Magpie. Okay, yeah, but he
Yeah,
wants
I
that.
had no idea that it was that bird.
He wants that tattooed on him by me. So now it's like full circle.
Boom!
Like-
That's awesome.
So it's really
dude,
cool.
I still want one of those sleeves, though. It's so badass. But you have the one I want.
I have the one that you want. I have the one you want. Nelson.
Nelson.
Yes.
Nelson Hardy, right?
Nelson Hardy. Yeah. Check him out. Nelson Hardy on Instagram.
At boner.com.
At Barner. Yes. But yeah, no, it just I for some reason
That's awesome,
it
though.
reminded me of that. So I just wanted to say thank you, Nelson, for I don't know, making my day, my life, everything.
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 I love you. We should get married.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
love me.
already married. He's having a baby in a couple of weeks.
Loser.
Yeah, I know.
Should have talked to me first.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry.
But yeah.
Derail.
So yeah. So we're gonna leave that part, like the
tattoo.
thing. No. I meant like how to get the jobs.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of places to get jobs. Just stay away from places like Fiverr or any other sort of like auction work sites where they're sort of like the one with the artist that wants to get the worst pay wins. Okay.
Yeah.
Stay away from that, because on that one of those episodes, someone mentioned Fiverr, like, oh, what do you think about Fiverr? Stay the fuck away. I read up on Fiverr just to like, wow, which one was that? Because there used to be tons of these. There probably are still, but don't use auction sites where they auction the worst paid artist to the company. Like, don't do that. Like, it's not.
You're not doing anyone any favors.
Especially yourself. Like, you're not gonna pay rent with $10,
No.
like, or $5 an hour. Yeah, so stay the fuck away from that.
Be smart.
Be smart. Yeah, like, work smart. Don't let people bully you around. And we're sort of gonna cover that in the next segment, which is multiple incomes. Be smart about the way that you work.
Yeah.
So if you just started off, like, let's say you just started your company. It might not be something you can do full time, because if you don't have any clients from like or contacts,
Yeah,
like,
if you don't
from
bring
a previous
exactly.
anything,
If you don't
like,
bring them with you when you start your own business, then you're gonna have a lot of work to do.
exactly. So
which is not drawing, but just finding fucking clients.
yeah,
Which we just talked about.
exactly. No, but what I mean as well is that don't let your clients and your rent dictate your pay.
No.
Because that's garbage.
Yeah.
And so if you get an extra job, make it either like a job where you just sit and wait for things to happen while you draw at work, if that is a possibility. I think Bobby Chu is like the biggest sort of like if you're gonna do anything, just try to find a job where you just sit there and you can maybe get some drawing done. And I think Jake Parker, and we've mentioned this as well, I think it was Jake Parker, that says like try not to get another creative job so you're wasting sort of your creativity at work. And then, but what we're talking about here is like an extra job or like a part-time, you know, like any part-time job you can get, just some extra income so that you don't have to take those really shitty jobs.
Exactly. It'll help you relax too.
Exactly. It'll give you that sort of like I get all my expenses covered plus food, or you know, like maybe you pay for the food with your freelance. I don't know how much you're getting in, but try to sort of find what works for you. And
we're not saying that it's going to be easy, because sometimes it's really difficult finding jobs like this, but they are out there. And I mean, you just have to lower your sort of bar. Sometimes you have to be like, because if you want those jobs with those type of hours, you're probably going to have to do like more of a shit type job, if you want to call it that. Like for me, for example, was the lifting of the washing machines and shit like that. But it was 3 hours a day.
Storage,
and that covered all of my expenses.
Warehouse work.
Yeah,
was what you did,
warehouse.
And since that's not something you want to do, it doesn't feel like a job worth spending time on.
But it was still good because it fueled my inspiration for the rest of the day, or, you know, it made me want to create more because I hated that fucking job so much. But it was still good.
I had a sweet job. Like, I couldn't draw on it, but I could, like, plug in my audiobooks, and just, like, what I was supposed to do was, like, make Canon printers, like those big ones that you have at the office. Like, you just had to, like, assemble them and program them and send them out to a client. And that was pretty, like, what do you call it? It was...
repetitive?
Like, repetitive, because you had to do, like, let's say you did, like, 10 machines a day. And... but it was very sort of like, but you got to sort of like, what do you call it? Like, you could, like, listen to audiobooks or podcasts, whatever, just like, and
zone out.
You zone out and just, or just think of ideas, and you just like, and then I just worked like part-time. That was my part-time job. Yeah. And they paid really well because it was a part-time job, and they wanted you to come in like in weird hours, or, you know, like, it wasn't weird. I got mornings, like early mornings, but that was what I wanted, because I think I started at like 6 or 7, and I was out there before 12.
Which is perfect.
So I had like 4 or 5 hours something that I just worked, and then I left, and then I had art, you know, like, so there are jobs out there depending on sort of where you're looking for them.
Yeah.
So that would have been an awesome sort of like way of getting extra money for minimum effort. So work on ideas while doing these machines, and then just, you know, like,
and then you
go home and create. Go home and create. Like, so that is one way of getting extra money to support your freelance. Another one would be just like any type of extra income that you can sort of generate. It might be prints, you know, like sell as many prints as you can. Sell them on the events that we talk about. Yeah. Sell them online. Have them available. You know, like every now and every 5th post, 6th post, make it a promotion thing. Like, I'm giving away, like, cleaning out these sketches, or like, like if you have limited prints, anything.
Just again, be resourceful.
Exactly. Like, and depending on the print quality, you know, like amount and so on, you can sell them at different prices. You might get $10 in, you might get $200 in, who knows? It will differ all the time. Yeah. But as soon as your sort of like brand keeps growing, people will probably buy a bit more. Like, depending on...
Because, I mean, I bought the print from Tony Moore, the guy drawing The Walking Dead and Deadpool and stuff. Yeah. So I bought a Deadpool print from him when we were at Comic-Con, and that fucker was like $20.
What? For
a signed print, A3 size.
Oh shit, it was that big. Yeah, it was. That's $20.
$20. Not even.
Sweat.
170 Swedish crowns.
Yeah. That was nice. And signed, yeah.
It's fucking signed.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like, I would have added a 0 if it was me. And this is Tony Moore, like a legit fucking comic book artist.
Not a lot of Swedes, I think, are
familiar. I don't... Yeah. I mean, if you've read The Walking Dead, that's his stuff. He's drawn The Walking Dead series. I don't think he's drawing it now anymore.
No.
Or maybe...
I don't know, actually.
He is. But he's done the first issues.
Yeah.
So, and very, like, I love his style. It's very cool. Very sort of early Todd McFarlane or Farlane ish styles.
That's awesome.
Very nice. Very nice.
And I think his pencil work is like when they put digital colors on, they sort of kill some of it. But when you see it live, like if you check his sketchbook or something, that shit was nice. The way that he used like the white highlighter.
Oh yeah, yeah. And he's pretty active on Instagram. It's
Captain
Colonel.
Oh, Colonel. That was what
Colonel. Tony Moore.
Tony Moore, yeah. Because we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
Sometime.
So check him out. Cool stuff. But yeah, he 170 crowns for a fucking awesome print. I don't know how much he sold, but I mean, it can't be. I mean, he can't have made that much money off of those prints.
I don't think so. Or like I don't know how the Swedish market sort of like would like if people bought his prints or not.
No. So.
But
that just, the whole, it probably, maybe that's expensive in the States. I don't know. I don't know what expensive is
I don't
for
think
a comic
so.
book artist.
I don't know. No, comic book artists, dude. I've seen like Jacob Campbell prices for originals and stuff. Their prices are out there.
Yeah.
I like it though.
Well,
That's how it should
but
be.
they obviously they need to.
Yeah,
They're
but I
fucking
really,
famous.
really love that.
Yeah.
Though. Like I love seeing artsy, like pricey art.
Yeah, but that means that, I mean, we can still take our prices.
Yes.
So.
I really like that. And we're talking like $1,500 for like a commission, something. I was like,
fuck yeah,
dude, you go.
Yeah, if I had
do
that money, I would fucking spend it. Like
That's
I would,
the thing.
I would get.
I would love an original. Like,
are you kidding me? Like I would just sit there crying, looking at that thing every day, not get anything done. But it would be okay because I would be rich because I would have one of those, or
several of those.
Yeah, or maybe living in my box because I sold everything to get one of those.
To get one of those.
Yeah, sorry.
But you can use it as a cover.
Derailing
So
the
just
fuck
back
out of
to
this.
the sort of multiple incomes thing. Also, like if you have an art book, promote it at every sort of like event that you do. Like remember, events I think will be easier to sort of sell your stuff at. And something that we forgot to sort of say at like when you promote yourself at events, maybe have a couple of smaller prints or like a little
We have a few different sizes.
or like a little book, like a small book with like 10 pages with some of your best work. Maybe like one page being sort of like how you built it up and the other one sort of like professional, like the finished stuff maybe used in a project, or maybe it's just like a finished piece of art, or like depending on where you're going. So if you're going to a book thing, maybe you want to make some fake book covers just for the event.
Yeah.
So you use it at these events.
It's awesome.
So it could be.
I love those.
It could be like a piece of art that is a business card. Like be creative. Like have business cards, of course.
Yeah.
For those people you don't want to give art to. But if it's like if you go to a publisher or anyone and you're like, hey guys, we talked online. Here's this little booklet that with a couple of fake covers for Harry Potter, or use some made up titles.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, are these books you worked on? Like, no, it's just I made it for you.
But that helps relate to, like, helps them relate.
Exactly.
It
you
makes
keep
it
on
easier.
topic.
Yeah.
It's like
it's more
like
fun.
a indirect portfolio sort of like it's a little brag.
Yeah.
It's a cute
sure.
brag. Yeah, I like that. So try to do that at events. That we totally missed to say.
Be
And then
discreetly douchey.
Exactly. Like if you're humble and sort of like just show off your skills, like
a humble douche.
Humble.
That's nice. I like that.
So exactly. So do prints, small art books, big art books, whatever the fuck you're doing, and coloring books. That's the new fab, for example. So try to promote that. Maybe give it away as well. Like make a couple of small ones that you give away as sort of like a free sample. And then you make a bigger one. Like, if you like the small one, maybe you can consider buying the big one. Like that's something you could do. Try to sort of cover a couple of price ranges, like for the people that don't make a lot of money might be able to get those free ones, and then you sort of like make the other ones for, people with like, that can afford a higher price tags, just cover all your bases. And that might sort of give you a little income, especially if you are good at promoting this stuff.
Yeah.
So I think other things is like, again, what Robert touched upon was like be resourceful with the way that you do it. So I think these are things that I haven't personally used, but I think they're really good tools. Like having like business cards, having those free giveaway book portfolio brag thingies. Like it's fun to get stuff for free. Me and Robert got like comic books from, I don't know the company now, but we got those free the comic books. It was...
Oh, fuck.
I don't remember. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a major
Famous,
publisher.
yeah, major publisher in Sweden.
Yeah.
And they gave us some free comics. And even though the comics weren't the best comics that I would probably read, like
But
it was still fun.
Yeah.
Like the like if they had been artists instead, giving me some free art to sort of like, oh well, if you like get this stuff, and it's just like a little like. I mean,
it was a Constantine comic, and
comic.
it was stuff like that. I mean, it's stuff that I'm not into. Or I haven't become into the whole Constantine series, so that's I really appreciate that because that gives me sort of a little window into that world, and I don't have to buy it.
Yeah, you can just like
I'm like, okay, so what is it about? Perfect, you know.
And yeah, exactly. And if you do that to the right people, like if you sort of like, okay, I know that this company is gonna sort of like they do this type of shit, and you match that shit in those little books or whatever, and you know there's 5 publishers that do this at this event.
Yeah.
Fucking give them that.
Exactly.
Because they don't know, ooh, this guy. Just back pocket that for later. So it's a really good way for you to make some money and to also sort of get seen.
Yeah.
So you have a couple of different plans. So just be creative. Like even your business cards. I like this sort of like when people make like 4 different ones and then they just like, oh, they'll pick the one you like, and it's a couple of different designs, you know. One is like a portrait of a girl, I don't know. One is but they're all reflecting art that you've done.
Yeah.
And that's always fun to let them choose between the different cards, you know.
Exactly.
And then you'll see what they sort of like as well, like depending on who you're giving it to.
It's cool.
So just a couple of ways of doing it.
Yeah.
And with the multiple incomes, it can be like more stuff. It can be maybe you get a licensing deal where you just like, let's say you do like skateboard prints, you do the one print and then you get some royalties or something, you know, for the sales or something.
Yeah, or maybe just, like a t-shirt for Marvel at some point.
At some point in your life. Yeah. I'm just saying that. Nice.
Yeah.
Robert needed to humble brag unhumbly.
I'm trying out the whole humble douche thing.
Yeah, humble douche.
I think it's good.
It's a good thing. We coined it. Remember it. You heard it here first.
I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it's still like every once in a while you get a little check, and you feel so appreciated. Like you just it makes you happy. It's like your birthday, a few times a year.
That is awesome. And I think that's like small stuff like that, because that's just an ego booster to do more things. So try to be creative, be resourceful, preferably write the shit down. Like, not what I'm saying only, I mean your ideas. Like, you can write my bullet points, but just try to like write down your ideas. Because remember, like, if life comes at you hard, you will forget. Like, I forget like every idea that I have that I don't write down.
One step outside this door, we're going to forget what the fuck we talked about.
Yes. And if you're really tired, like we are during this time, like as soon as I hear a music, I'm like, music. And then like, oh, conversation. I'm just like so distracted that I will not remember, because to remember something, you need to attach it to something, you know, like, and if you're distracted or tired, that shit ain't gonna stick. That shit ain't. Like, I could forget my kids and just bring their bags to school, you know, like, just to exaggerate a bit. But so, leaving that, we're gonna.
But again, be resourceful.
Be resourceful. I think that is your biggest key.
If you do have an extra job, that's an awesome way to promote your stuff. Yeah. Like, because you meet people, or maybe you do. I don't know what you do. But try to just keep meeting people and promoting yourself all the time. Again, I go back to, I can only relate to myself all the time.
I also have something that you mentioned earlier that I want to tie into. Awesome that you continued on this.
Okay, cool. But I used to work at the lumber yard, selling wood and shit. Like, it wasn't the best job in the world, but I wasn't complaining, you know? It was okay. I got to move around. But it opened up a lot of free time, so I was sketching all over the fucking place.
Oh, I remember that, like on the planks and on the walls of
all
the
over
plywood.
The place. Yeah, even on the fucking trucks that we were driving.
And everywhere. You threw knives at them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that too. That's not the same thing. But, but anyways, I met a lot of people, and like, not everybody who came there was like in the business of carpentry. It was also normal private people just buying wood and stuff. And then, you know, that's how me and Ilias got our first drawing gig. And I've gotten a lot of other stuff from that thing. Sometimes it's just drawing like a tattoo sketch, and sometimes it's an actual commission, and sometimes it's somebody from a company who needs help and has seen that, well, like, it's just being there at the right time, right place.
Didn't you see my logo drive in as well?
I did. Yes, yes.
Like, well,
Ilias did a logo for a carpentry dude company.
Yeah, like way back, one of
Yeah.
my like second or third gigs.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, third gig, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah,
and I was working. All of a sudden, I look up or look to the side, and I see the car with the big your logo printed on it.
Yeah, the big wooden
it's so fucking
plank,
cool.
yeah.
I love that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, don't be this like little introvert person. Just, I mean, don't brag about it too much, but keep talking about it. Keep it alive. Remind people that you are an artist or want to be an artist, and you know, sort of put it in their face discreetly.
Yeah,
You know?
And regarding that, I want to build on that because I really love that. And if you work at like a bookshop or something, maybe have like the prints or something that I talked about earlier. Have them available. Like, go to your local art place and like, I'm sorry, but could I have some business cards here? Or, you know, like if there is a bulletin board, have your business cards there. Maybe if like hang up one of those little pamphlets or books.
Genius. I mean, be seen.
Be seen. Like talk to your like. I think on a local scale, it's way easier than doing it in a big city.
Yeah.
Where shit gets crowded. But I think these more like the places that still sort of like have a personal touch and don't feel like a big franchise piece of shit place. You know, like. That pops up everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think these like personal venues that are maybe owned by
McDonald's.
yeah, exactly. No, but I mean like maybe it's like your uncle that works at a place, or you know this
more of a
thing-
family type business.
business, more personal, like more in touch with their customers. Maybe they can sort of like if you have a coloring book or an artsy business. Maybe that's the way that you sort of like get like the word out, you know, like the people that visit the bookstore or whoever. Also, one more thing that came out of that actually. Oh shit! I lost the thought. This is the worst about doing the podcast when you're tired.
It's okay. I was gonna say, don't limit yourself either. Try new things, because what I got, because this is what I did. I kept promoting myself all the time. But then I went to a bar and I was sitting there, like maybe waiting for my friends, working, sketching a bit and drinking, and then talking to the bartender who turned out to be the owner. And he's like, "Hey, fuck, I like your stuff. Do you do wall paintings?" And you're like, "Well, I could do wall paintings." And then there you go. You have an opportunity. Maybe he's not going to pay you what you want, but work, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, what I was going to say is, but I want to build on what you said as well, because this is another incident that I want to share just to show that if you draw in public, remember when we sat at Espresso House, like when that guy sort of like went past and then just walked back and like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? This is awesome work." And back when me and Prakash were drawing everywhere, like at McDonald's at first, and then moved on to, you know, Hirschen, and then moved back out to, you know, like Espresso House and all that stuff. Same thing there. People would like freeze and come back and like ask questions about the gear, if we were drawing with the Wacoms or iPads, or, you know, what art tools we were using.
People are interested.
People are interested. So drawing in public and sort of breaking that fear is awesome.
Very much.
I was drawing at the coffee shop in Söder, Tully's. And the owner asks me if I can design the inside of the coffee shop, because we're going to remodel.
Oh shit.
This was something I was not comfortable with.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, dude, I can like we can exchange information and I can sort of do it. But then I realized like, oh shit, this is way over my head.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh dude, I'm sorry. Like I won't be able to do this project, but I can refer you to some other people that might be way better suited.
I mean, but it's still, again,
that's what I mean.
It just comes all the time.
Yes.
You just need to be open to it. And I mean, obviously, again, this comes back to the whole being very social, like we are.
I think that's our key.
Yeah,
but
we don't have any problem talking to people. So it's kind of easy for us to promote ourselves, I guess.
I think so. Like,
in a good way, not in a bad way.
I think it comes, like, the talking about what we do is like, we live art.
Yeah.
Like we draw all the time. We do, like we draw in public, we draw on the way to work, we draw, like
everywhere.
if I could draw while meeting other people, I would. Like my wife invites people for dinner and I sit and draw while they talk. That would be great.
I have done that too.
I've done that, but my wife does not appreciate that. But if I could do it like on like every occasion, I would. Like that's who I am. Like I like to train and I like to do that. That's like two things that keep me sane. Otherwise, I think I would have been some sort of drug addict. Like, I don't know what I would have done with all this energy and sort of inspiration and, like, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, on the last note, before we close this subject, the multiple incomes, maybe teaching. Like, if you are that skilled or you just feel like part of this crowd, like, I can teach anatomy or, like, whatever the fuck it is. If you feel that you have some teaching skills... Maybe that's like maybe you do like a couple of students, and just like guys try to focus on this. This is what I would do. This is just like extra income.
And if you do, remember to promote the podcast.
Of course, because they need to know.
Oh yeah.
So that's a great way to make some extra money as well.
Yeah.
Because I know there's like in Sweden, like all these high schools. I was asked by my wife's friend, like if I could do like a drawing class, or if she could do a photo class. She just started like Maria just started out, my wife, started doing like taking pictures. She loves macro photography and she's really into that. And she's done some really nice shots and everything.
Yeah, I think
and she was really asked, good. And she's just getting better.
Yeah.
And it's super fun to see her grow. And I try to promote her and have her quit her job and just do that full time. But it's not working. But I really want people, like when they find, because she found her passion at age, like 30 something, I don't know, upper 30. What is it? She's 6 years older than me.
In the later part of life.
In the later part of life, yeah.
That sounds so horrible.
No, but it's
late.
I just mean that she found something that she loves to do without me or the kids, or like it's just her thing. Like drawing is for me.
I mean, some people go their whole lives
without knowing,
not even finding it.
And she was like, "Is this how you feel?" Like. Oh man, I still love that moment when she said that.
Nice.
She's like, "Is that how you feel? Like you just want to do that all the time? Like you just want to like leave everything and just go and like draw?" And she felt that with photography.
That's awesome.
And
wow.
I've never been able to explain that with drawing or with training.
No.
Like,
and she just...
Yeah, and then she just realized, she had an epiphany like, oh my God, this is what he's doing. This is why he's crazy. Like, so getting acknowledgement for my crazy. Yeah, no, but I mean that is like a major reason why I'm crazy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because that shit is just like, if I could just not eat and just draw all the time, I would do that. Like, it wouldn't be a problem. I don't need motivation to drive me, No. Like, that shit can go fuck itself.
And I just want to give a high five to my girlfriend, Anna, because you're talking about wifey. I start thinking about my wifey.
Wife.
Yeah. But
so,
I think she's
the
doing...
Sissy podcast is on.
She's doing a great job with Inktober, and she's really...
Very much so.
She's not really used to drawing this much.
And posting it
or like drawing in a public place, or seeing me like, or having me watch her draw, showing me stuff, all of that. Like, she's been really uncomfortable with it, but now she's really opened up, and she's doing the whole Inktober thing even better than I am. She's like still doing it, and she's also promoting the podcast a lot. And
yes, we appreciate that.
And she's really inspired. Like, we have inspired her. Which
That's
also
great.
is really...
Or she just listens to the podcast like, these are morons. I could probably do a better job.
Yeah, probably.
And then she just got super confident.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can provide help.
But yeah, no, so obviously, Anna, thank you for being there always for me. And I'm super proud of you.
And all you other baddies people.
Yes, of course.
Tune the fuck in, guys.
There you go.
So, Anna.
Yeah.
Maybe make Sketchbook Heroes part of the baddies program.
Yeah, she has already, but fucking...
Pretentious bastards.
Yeah, they are.
Kick your ass.
We'll get there.
So yeah, moving on. So the next step, how do you protect yourself, motherfuckers? You write contracts.
Yes.
And we have an episode that is called The Art of Getting Paid, which pretty much is just about contract.
Yeah.
So it should be called contracts.
And we also we talk about it in the Noukah episode as well.
Yes.
The art of, what was it?
The Art of Freelance with Noukah.
There you go.
So yeah,
So those two cover like pretty much everything you need to
you
know.
need about pricing and some
Contracts.
other contracts. Yeah, but we're gonna cover some
Yeah, just the
stuff on it.
basics.
Yeah. So first of all, you need to be really clear. Like, talk to your client and make sure, like, what is expected of me? What am I supposed to deliver? Like, what is the deadline for this delivery?
Yeah.
And then you write what is expected of the client. Like, they're going to provide me with the brief. They're going to provide me with the images or whatever the fuck they need you to do. You know, like, they might need to give you copy. They might need to give you the mood board, or they'll, you know, like, whatever the fuck they found on Google.
And sometimes they might need to provide you with materials of some sort, like painting stuff or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Just,
That should
smart
be
about
in the
this.
contract as well. Like, if they need you to do something and you need to buy materials for it, that is, like, out of your ordinary thing.
Yeah, say a
then-
wall painting, for example.
then
Obviously,
they
I'm not
should-
going to pay for the fucking paint.
No.
They're gonna
Unless
pay.
you charge for the paint that you bought. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, like, within,
yeah.
like, in your invoice. That should sort of, like, that it should be clear. Before
Exactly.
you touch pen to paper or wall or, you know, wherever you touch pens.
Before you start working.
Yes. This contract should be signed. And I've, like, in my experience, in the time that I've been doing it, this is the hardest part, okay? It's terrible to bring up. It feels bad. And all that fucking paperwork. What should I write in a contract? We cover that in the episode that is called The Art of Getting Paid. And that is number 23 and number 9, The Art of Freelance with Noukah.
Yeah.
So those you should check out. So that where we dive into details.
The Art of Getting Paid is number 12.
Oh, sorry, number 12.
yeah, that's
sorry.
okay.
We have them written
number
down.
12 and 9.
So, and then you should have, like, in your contract, there should always be a kill fee, which pretty much means that if the client cancels the project that is ongoing, they
You're
should
still
you should still get paid. And that could be anything from, like, some people think that 25% is low, but I would say anywhere from 25 and up.
Yeah.
Depending on how long the project has been running. So just to, like, if you've spent a week out of 2 weeks working, you should get at least half the pay, you know, like, at least.
Oh, yeah.
I know that some people have like 50 to 75% kill fee, which is insane. But I'm not disagreeing, okay? I think it's whatever works for you and you feel comfortable with after spending work and they kill it. You should at least get paid for the time you spent, at least, you know, like. So have that in your contract, specify what it means to the client and so on. Then you should also have, like, changes, or, you know, like, whatever you want to call that. You should have a maximum of 2 changes, so they can't, like, okay, I did this design, because you do like a concept for it, and they're like, out of these 5 concepts, always give them, you know, like, you draw like 1 million of them, and then you select the 4 best ones.
Definitely.
And then you present those, you know, like, don't give them 1 million options.
No, because that's you're setting yourself up for hell.
Yeah, and also the reason why I just say, like, oh, people are like, 2 changes, where did they blah blah blah. Yes, the reason why you give them 2 changes is because when you give them less options, they have to think more carefully about the decisions they make. If you give them 10 options, they will fuck you over until you reach the last one. And then they will make a proper decision.
Yeah.
But if you only give them 2 changes, and let's say you're doing a lot of work, they will consider the changes a lot more before they give you any.
Yeah, you're
sort of,
going to
like,
get a precise change.
A very well balanced answer
Mm-hmm.
rather than a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
And this brings us to extra work. If the client, like, let's say you delivered on all the stuff that you're supposed to do, then you end up with, oh, but we also need this thing. Well, that's
Extra.
That's another contract.
Exactly.
And your contract, maybe it has like a, I don't know what we could call it. Like, either they write another contract, which I would prefer, like the same type, and they sign that. And then you do the extra work. And I've realized people are like, oh, but sending the papers and waiting for the papers to come on, blah, 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 all that stuff. Yes, I totally feel your pain. I've even had, like, taxis bring me papers from companies in Stockholm. You can like they work as both couriers and as taxi drivers, and that's garbage. Because imagine if I use DocuSign. DocuSign is a document sign like service. It costs no more than a Spotify subscription, depending on how many contracts you need. But it like the basic one is like a Spotify subscription or something like that. You can send I don't know how many contracts, and you can send them digitally. Your client signs them digitally. You get a sort of verification. You both get a signed copy. You're good. That took, 5 seconds? And you can start working like on that same fucking day. And you're good. You can just fucking...
It's done.
It's done. Yeah, you don't have to wait for contracts to be sent over the fucking ocean for you to start working. Because you lose like a week of work.
But do they have like finished templates?
No, you have to write the contract.
You have to write everything.
Yeah, you have to, I would always recommend you to write it.
Yeah, of course.
Because every client will be different.
Sometimes it might be nice having sort of a template so you could just add to it.
I was going to write that. Still haven't done that.
No.
When?
When?
But when I do, I will have it available for you guys as well.
Oh.
So just wait a few years.
Nice. I'm still waiting for it.
No, but it's a really good idea. I'm going to have a couple of different sort of like lawyers that I know check it out. They're not really in the business of art, but I will try to sort of see if I can reach someone. So if you know a lawyer that is sort of...
More art related?
Or maybe that has like a, what do you call it? An insight in this whole sort of like social media business thingy-majig.
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be awesome. Please reach out. Because I would so love to have like a Swedish one. I would love to have, like someone from the US and so on. Because different rules apply everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be cool to have, like, since you work internationally, nothing is really stopping you. So, yeah. But I have one more thing that I want to sort of like tie into my contract that I just realized with the Apple gig. And that was, I might have mentioned it on the episode, whichever the fuck that was, like a couple of episodes ago, about, I got an Apple feature, like I was in the worldwide conference where they announced the new iPhones. I was in every app store in the world, I guess, that promotes like either my female or male version of that image. The only thing about this that I totally missed to do is that I'm getting no cred for this. Like I'm like this.
No
could
mention.
No mention. Nothing. There's nothing. I totally get it, but it's driving no work towards me as a small freelance business. This is garbage for me. Like, sure, I got paid, but like I can't live on that one job.
No.
Like forever. Like, and trust me, I didn't get that much for the amount of usage that they're getting for this. So what I'm saying is that in my future contracts, like that I'm gonna like whenever I have that out, I will add to, like, unless I get mentioned in said work, I'm gonna take an extra fee for it because it's not gonna generate work for me. I'm gonna be able
really
to use
smart.
it I'm gonna be able to use the work in my sort of promotions. Like, oh, I did this work for Apple. That's awesome. But I can't really, like, no one that sees my work in the Apple store or anything will ever be able to find me.
You're not getting the reach that
I'm not getting the reach that I could have gotten if I was like, oh, this artist did work for us, or like, or just a small mention, like my name, just that. Doesn't even have to be a website or anything, just my name somewhere. And
anything
then
they could sort of Google it. Yeah.
So I'm going to start painting my name into the images, first of all, and then having that part of my contract that I'm mentioned somehow within my work. I think Apple is going to be a tough sell on that one.
Yeah, I think so.
But I'm still going to do it. That's the thing. Uncomfortable means nothing to me. These are either people I'm going to work with. Like, I'm not going to be a douche about anything. That's never a thing. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more when shit gets really uncomfortable when we talk about paid, like getting like the pricing. What I want to say about the contracts before we leave is the program that I use is DocuSign. I think it's a super nice service. Like, it costs money, but if you don't want to get screwed and you don't want to wait for paperwork, it's an awesome option.
Nice.
There might be something else out there that's awesome, but I think DocuSign is really good. It's super simple to use. You just write your name and sort of like approve or like sign And that's out of the way.
Sweet.
And for
Good
more
tip.
info, check out episode 9 and 12 that covers contracts and freelancing a bit more sort of
Yeah.
in-depth.
Quite a lot more.
Quite a lot more, yeah. But here we're just like sort of skimming a lot of it. But I think if you listen to a couple of these episodes,
You're gonna get the full.
yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end, we'll give you all the episodes that are sort of in this. So now, back to pricing. This is the most uncomfortable part of negotiating shit.
Always.
And
Oh
this
my
is
God.
usually done before the contract thing,
Yeah.
but I think the
Oh, yeah.
contract thing is very important. So, this is usually like, oh, hi, yeah, we saw your work, we love your shit, yeah. They're just like, they're like a
Yeah,
lot of
they're-
lube, you know,
Oh, yeah.
to get you sort of like
You
a
hear-
lot of
you
praise,
hear it.
yeah. And that's usually how a lot of the inexperienced people talk to me when they want to order art from me. And I don't really like it because I'm hearing that they don't know what they're doing. So they're just playing on my ego, sort of. And, you know, as a businessman, I don't really have an ego in that sense. I want them to treat me as a business.
And we've heard it before.
And yes,
Sort of.
So I'm
I
not
mean-
saying that compliments are nice,
I mean, I love compliments, obviously.
but you hear the difference,
Oh yeah.
right?
It's
Like,
always
it's,
the like, just get to the point, please.
yes,
like,
please.
Almost.
Yes.
And that
exactly.
makes us the douchey thing.
Yeah, but I never say anything.
No.
I never say anything.
And I'm
I
always
just let
really
them-
humble. Like
Yeah.
every time, if somebody does, like if they lube me up before the whole, like trying to penetrate, I always like, well, thank you for trying. Today we are closed. No, but
No,
yeah,
no.
you get what I'm saying.
You
Like
clench.
I'm always humble. I'm very grateful that they actually look at my stuff anyways. So before totally shooting them down big time. So sorry if I've offended anyone out there with my shooting downs because
I think it's
that's what happens. You know, I don't have time. My free time costs a lot of money, and well, if you're
Well,
not
you-
going to pay for it, then you're not
you
going to get my
value
free
your
time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, even more now than, I mean, maybe even half a year ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane because now there is no free time.
Exactly. And I suffer from the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
There's work time at King that I do, work with games, you know, I do Candy Crush stuff and it's blah, blah, blah. And then you go home and you have kids and we have the podcast and I want to work out and I want to draw my own shit and I have to do freelance work. So when it comes to that part of my life, it's a very pick and choose for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I work a full-time art job, you know, that I love. And doing anything outside of that has to sort of be balanced with like my kids and my ability to work the next day
Yeah, yeah.
and do all the things that I want to do.
So it has to be worth it.
So
Like,
it has to be worth it. Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to like understand where I'm coming from because I'm going to understand that you're a business, but I want you to treat me as a business as well.
exactly.
So before we sort of touch pricing, I want to say if you're going to do work, you need to remember like being hired at a company, there's a process of sort of getting paid, how you treat clients, what the policies within the company are. You need to set this shit up for your company.
Oh, yeah.
We've touched upon this on one of these episodes that we mentioned. And it's super important that you put a backbone into your company. So when a client is sort of saying like, oh, well, we do it like this, then you can say, well, in my business, in my company, this is our policy when sort of like working with clients.
Yeah.
We can offer you this, this, and this. So you have something. You don't just make shit up every time because it's garbage.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna you're a bit stressed and you're like sort of, you know, like you're not thinking straight. But if you have like a clear way of conduct, it'll be way easier for you to appear more like professional. Because you
Big
might be
time.
fucking nervous, but that never shows.
Of course not.
Like when I've talked to some of the clients, like sometimes, you know, there's a party inside of me, but outside I'm like, yeah, that sounds fair, you know, like blah, blah, blah. And sort of because I know that I have like these steps that I need to go through.
Exactly.
That they need to agree
Yeah.
for us to be able to work together.
Never jump straight to the end.
Yeah.
Like, don't get too excited.
And
try to stay calm.
Yeah.
Then
so-
celebrate afterwards.
Exactly. Go to your best friend and like fucking money, money. Yeah, you can have that party later, but just try to sort of stay cool. And if you're in a negotiation sort of like position, like let's say you go out to said company and they offer you this stuff, try not to accept there.
No.
Because like you imagine your tunnel vision becoming really narrow at that point.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of stuff in your head that are not like sort of like you don't remember shit. Like you forget everything you need to sort of all the steps. Like you forget all the steps and shit that you need to sort of like make clear to them before you work together. So you just like thank you and blah 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 blah. I'll go home and I'll sort of like I just need to like process this and I'll have an offer for you later to this day or later this week, depending on when the project is due. So and then you can go home and then like this was garbage because it might feel cool, but then you sort of like you count on the sort of like the hourly rate for the 10,000 that they offered you, and that's crowns. That's like $1,000, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna be getting paid $10 an hour for all this work, and then you're like,
Maybe. If you're fucking lucky sometimes.
So it might not be as awesome
As it sounds.
once the adrenaline and everything
exactly.
sets, like okay, I'm gonna be working on this for 3 hours. I'm gonna get $1,000 for a month's work. No, you're not.
No.
You're not gonna. You're gonna be like, yes, professional tone. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So
Dinner before dessert.
exactly. So don't make any decisions while in negotiations. Like just take the information in, tell them what you can offer them, what you can remember to offer them, and then contemplate that shit at home.
Yeah, and if you need to like some more time, don't be afraid to say it. Like, you're like,
I can make a decision here.
Sorry, I need to go back and I need to think about this and this and this.
Yeah, I need to count on like the amount of hours and blah blah blah. And
I'll get back
supplies
to you
and
ASAP or whatever.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Say I don't feel comfortable doing this here. I want to sort of do it at my office and just like really assess it because I don't want it to conflict with my other projects.
Exactly.
Like you don't have to give them.
check your.
They don't need to have a reason. Like you could just like I need to contemplate this at my office.
Yeah.
That's all that you need to say.
Yeah.
But if you want to sort of like if they're pressing, you're just like no. But I have other clients and I need to sort of make sure that this work doesn't like conflict with them.
Exactly.
Because these are recurring clients. Just lie something up.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Whatever.
So having that said, pricing. How the fuck?
Yeah. How?
Right? How the fuck money?
I mean, you are you are the how the fuck money.
Yeah. So I think for me, I get a lot of gigs that are just like, show up to this place, draw some shit, have a great time, talk to people, tell them how you're experiencing this thing. Like, here are some pens, or here's a machine.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of my work. And when I do that, when I work at events, I have like a minimum, they can only hire me for a minimum of set hours, like 4. Depending on the distance of the event. If the event is in Stockholm, I will like a minimum of 4 hours. If it's outside of Stockholm that I need to travel to, I will take that into account and I will say like, oh, well, I'll be gone for 2 days and I need full day's pay, like for
Whatever
weird
it
events.
is.
If I need to like sleep over as well, that's worse for them. I mean, it's good for me.
Yeah.
I get free hotels and money. So what I do charge when I work at events like that aren't uncomfortable to me or I don't need to prep anything, I usually take like, what is that? Like 2,500 plus tax. So that means that you add the 25% tax on top of the 2,500. That makes it like, I don't know, money.
Yeah.
Math. Math book heroes. They're not very good.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah. Calculator. iPhone calculator is good. So yeah, I do that. Swedish prices. I don't know what the hell that would be in. And that's if the event is like close at hand, it's something that I'm comfortable with. But if I have to prep extra, let's say I need to like set up a presentation of some sorts, I'm going to get paid for the like, if I spend 10 hours behind the scenes, I will charge that.
Oh, yeah.
And then I will charge the event. And I think my rates, like I don't get that much hourly work, I think. Most of my gigs are very sort of like show up, do shit.
Yeah.
So it's usually the 2,500 plus how they're going to use the stuff that I create, like if they want to use it for commercial stuff. But hourly work though, how do you do with that?
Hourly work, I mean, it's
harder to push
it's
the
really hard.
2,500.
Yeah, it is, because normally, well, the way I get work is like, well, we have this thing and it needs to be finished by then.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's up to me to plan, okay, I have this amount of work that needs to be done. I have this amount of time. How many hours a day am I going to be able to work on this? And then from there, think of, okay, what's my situation look like? How much money, like, do I need to survive and eat? And I need to do this and this and this. And then I need to get something for the actual work. So it's like everything, all of that goes into account.
Yeah.
And then that sort of ends up at about somewhere between, I mean, I think the absolute cheapest would be like 600 crowns an hour.
I hate that.
So that's like $60 an hour or so.
Making me very angry about it.
Yeah, I know. But my normal price is like 1,000 to 3,000-ish an hour, I would say. So, but I mean, these
Depends,
are
yeah.
like, it all depends on, because now I've had the luxury of working with really big companies, just like
Same
you
here.
have.
Not a lot, but they're
No.
good.
So,
clients.
I mean, you can, in those cases, you can negotiate, and
Yeah,
they are pretty flexible, and they really understand, because you're normally not the first person they've worked with. So sometimes when you say,
But
oh, I
hopefully
want
the last,
3,000 an hour, they're going to
Yeah.
be like, oh, really?
Oh, really,
Like,
yeah.
wow, that's cheap, or so, sometimes. So, I don't know. We've just been lucky that way. But then again, I've done a lot of simpler work for a lot less money too. So
have I at some point.
but I think actually the most normal thing I do is I set a price per image. Say they're gonna, like, they order this amount of images, say 10 images, and then I say, well, you're gonna pay 5,000 per image or so if it's only sketches.
Yeah.
And then one image could take 10 minutes to do, the other could take a day.
Yeah, depending on the concept. I guess the complexity of the concept.
Yeah, and sometimes you're like in an artsy flow, and you can just create
definitely.
from nothing, and sometimes you get stuck
Dude,
and you have
yes.
nothing, and you're just sitting there
Depending
like,
on the client, like the builds of pressure,
Yeah,
right? You're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my god, how am I supposed to do that? I've seen the prior clients; they're awesome.
yeah, that was my latest work. Yeah.
Oh Jesus,
That
yeah.
was for Schleich, is their
Oh
name.
really?
I did some toy concepts.
Sweet.
Yeah, good money, fun project, but
Sweet.
nervous as fuck,
Nervous, fuck yeah.
because I'm like, oh, these are gonna be toys one day.
That's
So
so
cool.
cool though.
But yeah, I don't know if any of you out there understood what we're talking about. I hope you do, so you have
Yeah.
some sort of idea of how we set the prices and
Yeah.
stuff.
And this is very individual. Like,
Yeah, and actually, this comes back to the question we got in the live stream.
I have that as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about that. I just want to like touch up on the hourly work for me.
Yeah. Sorry.
I started 1,000 crowns plus tax for you Swedes. That means like X moms for you. But that's where I would go. Like I wouldn't go lower.
No.
Like I don't care how many hours you want. That is my minimum. But I seldom work at that rate. It's just like I am flexible because there is no there is no universal pricing for this.
No.
And
It's gonna
all the
be different
clients
pretty
are
much
gonna be
every time.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that the clients that work with me more often, we have an understanding of how we work. And I might raise my prices when I feel like, oh, guys, I've done a price adjustment for my work. And then I raise my prices, which is fine. And I explain, like, because of reasons, whatever they may be. Like, oh, I've improved on this part. I want to get more paid. Like, because you have to do that every now and then to sort of... We're going to touch upon that on the next question. But the hourly rate for me, the only reason I would go lower on my hourly rate is if the way that they're going to use my image. Like I wouldn't probably go below 1,000 crowns, which is 100 and something
$100.
dollars.
Yeah.
Or
euros.
120.
100 euros.
Yeah. I guess the euro is more even.
I don't know what the dollar is
I don't know
in.
what the dollar is right now either. So let's say $120 an hour at the minimum, and that's like, I'm crying a little. But what I'm saying is that depending on how my work is going to be used, because sometimes they want to print it, they want to resell it in some sort of shit, they want to use it in like a big electronic hardware store thingy-majig to like sell computers or whatever the fuck it is.
They're gonna make a lot of money
They're
off
gonna
of
make
your
a lot of
image,
money
yeah.
out of my image, and I want to get part of that.
Of
And it's
course.
still gonna be like a fraction of what they make,
Yeah.
but it's still that fraction for me is a lot, So try to have that in your contract. Like if you use my work, then you can use it for a year. And then if you want to reuse it the next year, for example, this is how I sort of do this. I have this in my contract that they can use my work for this amount, like let's say 10 hours plus the usage rights. So the usage rights, I will see sort of like, okay, where are you going to use it? And they're like, oh, we're going to use it internationally. I'm like, okay.
Ka-ching.
Yes, ka-ching. That will affect the price. And then let's say they're going to use it for web, TV, and whatever else there's out there, social media, and sell t-shirts, and I don't know, make underwear, and just making shit up. I will add to the price
Yeah, for every step.
for every
like,
step,
or
or
every,
and then they can use it for a year.
Yeah.
I will lock them to that. Like you can have it for a year for this amount. They pay me a license fee plus my hourly rate. And then if they want to like renew it, like let's say the sales were amazing. Ilias is a fantastic artist. This hasn't happened yet. But they want to renew it for the next year. Then I'll take 50% of what I took the first year, which was dirty. Like I was ashamed, like that's what I would charge. And I would take 50% the second year, like, and then half of that the next year. The third year, I would take 25%, like out of the total. So I would just keep lowering it for all the years that they want to use it. Or I would offer them to just like, guys, if you don't want to keep paying me, just give me $1 bazillion and just do what the fuck you want with it. Wipe your ass with it, sell it, rip it, redraw it, give her a mustache, like give him a unibrow. I don't give a shit. Do whatever the fuck you want. Just pay me a lot of money. Because it's something that I created, and I don't want people to earn money off of my work out of my sort of like what we had in our contract.
Yeah.
So you take money, and that will affect my hourly rate. Let's say they're just going to use it this one time for this event, like a superhero standing, like with his hands on his hips. It's just that one time off. They're going to do the pamphlets, and they're going to do that,
And it's
maybe exactly. And then like, oh, we want to do t-shirts as well. Okay, we'll add that to the contract. Or like another contract. Or you, if they know about it like in advance, you plan for it and you charge for it.
Oh, yeah.
And then you say like, you can use it within the blah, blah, blah hours or the event. You can use it for 3 days. That's the license.
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck. Sell as many as you can. But I want a license fee for those 3 days. And then after that, burn them.
Yeah.
Give
I
them
think-
away or something. I don't know.
And all of this pretty much answers the question that was posted or asked on your live stream.
Exactly.
So the question is,
Yeah, Todorova_Asplund asks, how do you sort of like age and years in the business? How does that affect your pricing?
Yeah.
Right?
And this is what I wanted to like come to at this point, because now we've gone on and on about like you have to answer or ask them like how are they going to use it and blah 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 in order to set prices. We do this because we've been in the business for this long and we have learned this because we have done this many times and we've not asked these questions and we have been fucked over many a times by different bigger or smaller companies, but it's just because of us being ignorant or lazy or not knowing whatever it was. So that sort of answers that question, because we've been in the industry for so long or enough time to know what questions to start asking.
Yeah,
now.
your butt starts getting numb after you've been fucked a couple of times. And the thing is, sorry for that blunt sort of, but the thing is, blunt. Okay, yeah. So what happens is like, when you've been fucked over several times, you start to get annoyed. Once you get annoyed, if you don't let that annoyance show in how you like interact with your clients, and I'm talking about upcoming clients, not the clients that do great work, like that you have like a nice sort of like working relationship with.
Oh yeah.
But I'm talking about these newcomers, or you know, whoever that's new, when you face them and you're being like, you're doing all the social cues, you're very nice, you present your business, they present what they want, and so forth. When it comes to pay, even if you feel uncomfortable, they're a business. They're used to paying for shit, and you're used to, you know, giving a service. So it won't be weird. You're the only one who's going to feel weird talking about the cash thing.
Yeah. They're expecting it.
They're expecting it, and you feel uncomfortable. So that's like, you need to work with that. Yeah. And once you've like I said earlier, like been fucked over a couple of times, that shit ain't gonna fly anymore. You're gonna be like, oh well, these are my pricings. And when I talk about the pricing, like after the lube part that we said, that where they sort of like, oh, your art is so good, and we have this amazing project, you know, like, and we think you'd be a perfect fit, and your artwork, I think, will speak to millions of people, you know, bullshit. And then when you get to the pay part, you're like, okay, that's awesome. So these are my prices. This is what I charge for being at your event. This is what I charge for, let's say, these pieces that you want from me. And depending on how you use them, this is what I can offer you. And they're like, oh, that's too expensive. Then you can have like a backup. Like I said before, you have steps for this. You have a way of conduct.
Yeah.
So what you would say is like, okay, I totally get that you're just a startup. I totally get where you're coming from. I'm also like you don't have to say that you're beginning. No. But I've been a small business. I totally know. What I can offer you is like, I can make 2 of these images out of the 4 you want. Yeah. And you can use them for a limited time. And you can sort of like lock them in. And then if you feel that the sales are doing good, we can renew that license. So you can pay me an extra and then use them for an extended period. Every license is going to cost you 15,000 crowns plus tax. I don't know. Whatever the deal is in the beginning. You just like, okay, so for like, let's say the first deal is like 30,000 crowns Swedish monies and plus tax. So never like, tax will never be included for me. I will always just say the price without the actual. So
that's always an add-on.
Because there's a lot of tax in Sweden and you need to get that shit in the price.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Otherwise, you will work for peanuts. So, for example, you tell them like, okay, 30,000 for the 10 hours. I don't know what the fuck. Math, you know. So you just do the work, and then they run the campaign for a month or like 2 months, whatever the fuck you agreed on. And then like, oh shit, it's going really well, and we want to extend the campaign. They tell you like a week, 2 weeks before it ends, like the response has been amazing, blah blah blah. And if you're smart, you'll say like, if the campaign is doing good, you'll have to pay me this amount, and you'll have to provide me with numbers. So stuff you can work into your contract. There are tons of ways of doing this, depending on what sort of market you're touching upon. So just be smart about the way, like you can do work for cheaper. You can do less images. Because you're like, that's going to cost you 50,000 crowns. And they're like, oh, no, that's not going to work.
We only have 25,000.
I can do half the image. Yeah. You know.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to ask what their budget is also. Because if they say we only have 10,000, then you're like, well, I'm sorry. But this is not going to... I can't make 100 images for $10,000. Crowns. Crowns, dollars. But what I'm saying is just like, be flexible, but don't make them an offer before they give you an offer. Oh, hell no.
Because I've gotten offers that were so low. Like, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? This doesn't even cover the pen that I'm using. Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so ridiculous. Oh, but we thought it would be a fun thing. We're such a great match. I'm like, yeah, well, pay me for it then. Like, you want to sell something, but you don't want, like, it's so annoying.
If you want good pizza, you're going to pay for good pizza.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to pick up the pizza from the ground like, oh, well, this is cheap.
Yeah.
Dirt and syringes. No, but yeah. So just make it a business. Like, have contingency actions for the no's and for the la-la-las. All these sort of situations that you can think up would come up. Yeah. So if they can't afford your prices, maybe change the scope of the project. Yeah. Like, take away some images or offer them, like, I can do the concepts for it, and then you can internalize them however the fuck you want. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like...
Again, be smart and resourceful.
Yeah. And don't make decisions... If you're meeting them face to face, make no decisions.
If you get uncomfortable in situations like that,
back the fuck up, go home.
Nobody is like, they're not going to be well, they might be annoyed that you haven't decided anything, but
Of
that's
course,
their
but
problem,
that's
not
their
your problem.
Yeah, that is a good client won't be annoyed. That's
No,
the thing.
exactly. They're
just
gonna
like-
respect everything that you do, because the more sort of stuff you do like this, the more professional you're gonna be.
Yeah, and you're gonna
Hopefully.
notice, but you're gonna notice that some clients are doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you can always like meet the response in the same way. It'll be a way of conduct.
Yeah.
It'll be the backbone of your company, which is what we touched upon earlier.
Yeah.
And it's so important to have these plans for how you want to sort of meet these demands, or these weird demands.
Yeah.
We need to school the people that aren't used to like ordering art. You want to be the sort of like the teacher, like without being an asshole. Like during all of this, when I sort of like talk about money, or when I talk with my clients, I talk very sort of professional. I make sure they understand what they're paying for, what like money is for what is this, like, for example, if I have a tight deadline, I would have that as part of my, like, I would charge for it.
Yeah.
Oh, so you want me to do crazy amounts of work in this limited time? Add another 10,000 to that.
Exactly.
Because
Tight deadlines suck, and
tight
you're gonna be feeling
Sucking
really
it,
bad,
yeah.
and then you're gonna have like a creation hangover for a couple of days, because you've probably been working your ass off for 30 hours straight or whatever it was.
And then that project might just end when another begins or
Exactly,
something. So
yeah.
you want to sort of like get paid for that, because that might be the
Yeah.
motivation you need to push to the next one as well.
Oh yeah. Again, no, I lost my train of thought. Fuck it. Sorry.
No, but it was the art hangover that you said,
Yeah.
which is
No, it's just-
totally true. Because
Yeah.
you will not want to see art after that. Like
No.
if it's that, like if the work is boring as
It
well.
needs to be worth it, is pretty much what I wanted to say.
Totally needs
Yeah.
to be worth it. And I think it's really important that you make sure that it is.
Hmm.
Because I can tell you this, in my, I don't know how many years now, but fuck it, a lot of years now.
15
I don't know.
ish.
They were not all good years. I had a tendency of always saying yes to shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to do this project for no money and exposure? You're like, oh, well, I guess. And then you got the brief and it's super boring. And
You just keep pushing it.
Yeah, and you knew you weren't getting that much money. You had already, just reading the brief, already, like, you passed the budget.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't get better, like.
No.
So just don't do the cheap shit. It's never going to be worth it. And they're going to have, like, without the contracts or anything, you're going to have the, like, the like infinite changes that they're going to ask you. They're like, the color is wrong. No blue, no more blue. The other blue, no, the other blue that you had, but not the one with the green and the blue. And you're like, what the fuck does
you
that
meant
even...
red.
Yeah. And they're like, no, you have to go more red. And then you're just like, you pull the slider for the red saturation to the max. And he's like, can you make it a bit more red? And you're like, dude, that is like the maximum of the color range that you can go with RGB. And that's like a bazillion fucking colors, like, I'm just saying that they're going to put weird fucking demands on you. The more leeway you give a client, the more they're going to sort of use you. So that's why the contract is important. Try to sort of keep it all organized and structured, and don't accept gigs for shutouts.
Yeah.
Unless you work that in your contract. No, I'm not kidding. Like, if client says that they're going to pay you for something, just say, okay, but I'll have that in the contract. So if you can't give me 10,000 exposures or whatever the fuck it is, like, let's say 100,000 people, just to make it worth it, okay? And then maybe 25% of those will see your shit. Like, actually, unless they can deliver on that with numbers, show you actual non-Photoshop numbers, go for it. Like, let's say Justin Bieber says, like, dude, I'll give you exposure. He has like 20 million followers on Instagram, and he can give you numbers on how many people interacted with your shit.
Awesome.
Maybe that's a deal.
Yeah.
But that should be in a contract. And if they can't deliver on said views, impressions, whatever the fuck you call it, then you get paid.
Yeah. Easy.
So, But try to work it in contracts, okay? That is the only one that cares about you is the contract.
Yeah. But it's also safety for the client.
It is safety for the client.
Not just to be on our side all the time, but it is that way they know that you have to deliver as well, otherwise they're not going to pay you.
Yes.
So it goes both ways. And I mean, I've had to cancel on clients because stuff has come up and I haven't been able to finish some stuff, but there was no contract. So sorry guys, I can't do this. Like, here's what I've done so far. I'm sorry, but this has come up, and
life exploded. But
so it works both ways.
I haven't never canceled a job except I think one, and that was one of those shitty jobs where I was just no, enough. It's fucking enough. This is fucking like the brief keeps changing. Yeah, but fuck this. But I don't count that as a real client. That was a person. No, but I meant that it was actual person that ordered art for cheap back when, and I was like, no, this is enough. This is bullshit. That's the only time I've canceled. I had never canceled a contract because I'm like a hitman. You know, once that contract is on, I kill it. Boom. No, but just try to sort of like protect yourself, and like Robert said, we're not hating on our clients. We have some really good clients that we love working with. Oh, yeah. And they are awesome. But then there's, like a lot of people that are super cheap about their, like, they don't really believe in their brand enough to sort of invest in it. And that, I think, is a big problem, but it's not your problem and it should never be.
No.
So if they want to give you exposure, that's in your contract. So you both know what's expected from both parties. That's what the contract does.
Exactly.
It keeps you both on the straight and narrow.
Clarifies stuff.
And just to sort of like touch upon some stuff before we wrap up, because this has been 1.5 hours of fun. So before this runs for 2 hours, I probably forgot some stuff about the pricing. But try to work it all in your contract. Don't let them get away with using your stuff outside of the contract, and if they do, send them an invoice. That's all you need to do. Hi guys, saw that you used this outside of our agreement. Here's an invoice for the $10,000 I promised. You know, like whatever.
Exactly.
Crowns, not dollars. But it depends. It can be dollars as well. So just like a couple of things we want to touch upon, like briefly, is like if you start your own business, an actual business, like just saying you're doing freelance, but actually have a business. I would totally recommend, because the first time I did it, when I started this enskild firma that you actually have.
Yeah, what I have.
I did not get an accountant or a redovisningskonsult that they're called. So it's so worth investing in one.
Oh, yeah.
Because all that shit you don't understand and you sort of like need to deliver on deadlines and other shit.
Yeah.
They can do.
Exactly. It's such a fucking load off of your ass.
Yes, it's a load off your ass.
A load off your ass.
Very good phrasing.
Yeah, not even your shoulders.
Not even.
No, but seriously, it's just like, because then you can, all of a sudden you can start focusing.
Yeah.
I mean,
not worrying.
Yeah, I mean, you still worry about all that other stuff too.
I still worry about the money.
Yeah, but this way you just, you just collect the paperwork and then you put it in the hands of this other person, and then poof, your worries are gone. Sometimes you don't even have to have paper.
Yeah, you can just PDF them or just whatever.
It's perfect. It's such a lifesaver.
Because you just need to put them in folders, I guess.
People don't think about it, but a tattoo artist, or at least we are our own companies as well. So just because I work at Huckleberry doesn't mean Huckleberry pays me. People pay me for my service. Exactly. I have to pay rent for being where I am. So don't if you don't know what you're doing, and unless you find it like super fun, get an accountant.
Yeah. If that's killing you like it did me back when, just fucking get that accountant. But make sure to sort of like, I use a firm that sort of offers like small businesses one price. If you make this much money, we offer you this price, and if you earn like a bazillion gazillion, which I don't, we charge more. And use one of knows? Just make sure that it comes sort of recommended by people that have been working for a while. You know, like don't use like the shady guy around the corner that has, you know, like he does your papers in his, you know, like
coat.
In his coat, yeah. Like just make sure you do some research.
Yeah.
I found one just outside of work. And it's perfect. Like I just run over there when I have stuff, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I asked my friend who had been like he's worked as a freelancer for quite a while, and he had his guy, and he was just like, yeah, like
The guy,
yeah, the guy.
It can be someone. Maybe someone in your family works with fucking this stuff. Then have them do it like a slave for free.
Yeah, my dad does it with my mom.
There you go.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's an awesome way to sort of not pay for it.
Actually,
Like,
I think he's got an accountant now. But
That's awesome.
My mom still has to look over everything. Control freak.
Oh, that's good though.
Yeah.
But
But
that
that way,
that extra checkup. He doesn't have to do it. So
Yeah.
if she wants to do it, fine.
But yeah.
Yeah. And also in Sweden, buy shit.
Oh yeah.
You get that tax deducted from
It's the
your,
best.
Yeah, you have to pay tax, but you can also deduct tax if you buy a lot of shit.
But it's so funny, like when your accountant person just tells you like you need to buy more shit. You're buying way too little.
I buy way too little shit.
So like for me, I don't know how this works in different countries, but
Yeah, I
for
don't
me,
know how
like
that works either.
because we are illustrators and we need inspiration.
Yeah, you can buy stuff related to work.
So I can buy like DVDs and comic
Art
books
books.
and video games, all of this stuff, and it's deductible because it fuels my inspiration and helps me work and create.
Yeah.
So without that stuff, I wouldn't be as good at what I do as I am. Like
you use
I
it as
need it.
research, and I
Exactly.
think the qualifiers is that you use it mainly for work, like only at work.
Yeah.
Actually, they don't want you to sit there and watch these movies on your private time.
No.
So
But I
just
mean-
keep that in mind. No. By law, that's how it is. Like, if you buy something for work, it should only be used. Like, if you buy a work phone and just call 90% personal calls,
Then it's not a work phone.
it's not a work phone. Exactly.
No.
So
But I'm
it's-
working all the time, so
I know.
it always counts.
Like the thing is, everything I draw for myself, I use to promote my business. You know, like so
exactly.
it's really not like I could take all my art supplies and just like sort of like throw them into the company
Oh yeah,
because it's the only place I use them is to promote my shit myself.
yeah,
Yeah, what we do is what we work with. Like it's
yeah.
the
It's full circle continuously.
yeah,
always.
and that's
everything we
how
do.
you should get into the business of drawing.
Yes.
Like, it should be something that you love doing. You would do it whether people paid you or not. You just would do it for yourself and not for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then once you
Exactly.
get to a point where you're comfortable with what you're doing and you feel that this is pretty good shit, like not always, sometimes I fuck up, but I can still get paid for this. And it's like, I feel confident about my work within these fields. Fucking run for it, you know, like some closing words though. We're not gonna like sort of recap this because there was a lot of shit.
Yeah, just rewind it.
Rewind, re-listen. But what we wanted to say was sort of like doing all this, make sure to have time for your own personal stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think personal stuff is usually where you sort of like do the weirdest shit ever and really sort of helps you come up with new stuff, you know, like boost yourself again, like reset yourself and experience stuff. Go out with friends, you know, go watch movies, be with family, travel the world.
There is life out there,
Yes.
and you need to live it.
And yeah, exactly. Visit weird places, go to markets in Agraba, you know, wherever the fuck you want to go. Like, I just mean like visit exotic places, refuel your inspiration, talk to people from different cultures, learn things, you know, like study up on
Get
your
inspired.
history that I
Yeah.
hate doing.
Fuck yeah.
Whatever. Just like try to sort of give yourself more than the sort of the narrow interwebs is giving you, because we're all getting the same 20 images that we talked about last time.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
try to sort of expand your visual library by doing shit.
Oh yeah.
Like if you can't travel abroad, maybe you can go to a place where you haven't been before, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Take a hike in the woods, get killed by a bear, you know,
Exactly.
whatever.
Ride the subway to the end stop. See what happens.
See what happens at 3 at night. No.
But yeah, no, really,
Yeah, that stuff.
that stuff.
So
With that said, are we doing the shout out
Recommend-
for?
oh shit, yeah.
Because I think we're just gonna cut recommendations and everything. Like,
Yeah, let's do that. Let's fuck it.
Yeah.
Or we can just throw some names out and just move on.
Yeah, we could do that.
But before we do that, next week we have a special guest. So yeah, on the next episode of Sketchbook Heroes, we're gonna have Evan Mel Amundsen on the podcast. He is a concept artist from Norway that is amazeballs.
Yeah.
We're gonna promote him all week long because he's awesome. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna try to have a little giveaway during this.
Yeah.
We can't really
We can't say what
the prize is yet. It might be something from us, or maybe we can get something special. Like we're gonna investigate in the prize.
Yeah.
But there will be a giveaway, and we will have all the details for the next episode. Plus Evan Mel Amundsen.
Yes.
And you're never going to be able to spell that because I
No.
said that terribly.
But you're going to see the posts during,
Yes.
like, you have seen the posts. If you're listening to this and you follow us, you already have seen the posts. We're going to keep posting. And, stay tuned for the, I was going to say competition, but giveaway.
Yeah.
Cool. And then the last little shout out for
like 2 awesome
inspiration.
Inktoberers.
Yeah, so you guys keep Inktobering.
One is pretty famous, I think, for most of you or some of you. Jana Schirmer. So that is Jana, like Jana. And then Schirmer is like SCHIRMER. Anna Schirmer. Yeah, it's German. Schirmer. So Jana Schirmer. And she's awesome. She did kick-ass work on Inktober last year. And
I will check it out.
Her stuff is awesome. I saw her draw live at THU. And she's awesome, like I said. Jana Schirmer. Go there, Instagram, check her out. Awesome shit. Awesome. And then we have Mr. I do Inktober every day of the fucking year. And it's Robert's recommendation.
Yeah.
Andy Brace. And if you pronounce it like that, I don't know.
I think so.
Andy Brace does these amazingly detailed ink works with so much, if you take Mike Mignola that sort of simplifies everything and does awesome work with that, this guy does the exact opposite. He goes bananas with the details. He has the details you don't need. He has the details that you need. Everywhere. He has everything, and it's so good.
So tight, so fucking awesome.
Right?
It's so
perfect. It's like a fucking print.
Yeah.
Insane.
So good.
Yeah,
so good.
Andy Brace _art.
Yeah.
And Brace is spelled BRASE, not C. So Andy Brace _art.
Brace.
It's amazeballs.
Check it out.
Just fucking check it out. I remember finding him way back on, I think it was DeviantArt or something. Insane.
He's doing a lot of work for Assassin's Creed and what was it more? It's on his... If you go into his Instagram, you're gonna see he has it written, the stuff that he's doing.
Yeah, maybe put on a helmet before you visit his page.
Yeah, please, or protect your phone.
Yeah, from his yeah, but it's really good. So that's another Inktober recommendation from us.
Yes.
Although he's not even doing it, but he's still sort of on the money.
Yeah, but you can see fun stuff with cross hatching and the way you could add details and shadows to your inks.
Yeah, he has some awesome stuff.
So just go get fucking inspired and good luck keeping up with the fucking Inktober thing, because this shit ain't easy.
Nope. So let's keep on keeping on. Yeah. And I still need to watch that. 15 episodes ago.
There you go.
So with that said, guys, we are out of here.
Up and
away.
Yeah.